I mean, just looking at some of the statistics from the research, very interesting that 70% of consumers do say that the threat of identity theft has changed their online behaviour. Another one, just referring back to the online retailers, was that confidence in their services has fallen from an already low 21% in 2006 to 19% in 2007. I mean, given that we're in the middle of the Christmas shopping period, the time of year when most online shopping is done, is this something that those companies really should be worried about?
Well, I think it is, although I suppose if I think about consumer behaviour around Christmas, I perhaps form a slightly contrary point of view on that, which is that you do get this situation where everyone is so singularly focused on satisfying the shopping requirements around Christmas that they're probably likely just to steamroll ahead with all of those purchases and focus on the singular deadline of December 25th and all of that, and to get all of that done. So I certainly think that the erosion of confidence is a very important issue. I certainly think that it is something that is not an IT issue, it's very much a business issue, it's a marketing and sales issue, certainly in the private sector. I look beyond Christmas and I kind of question to myself whether we will continue to see this erosion playing out, in that once you get past almost an artificial set of drivers beyond the Christmas period, where the consumers will begin to look at this, and in the longer term they will say, do I choose to do business with perhaps even a smaller company that I don't trust their brand, I don't see them having a physical presence on the high street, etc., etc. Will I continue to shop with that relatively unknown brand, or will I just centralise all of my shopping off with a major brand that's out there that I've got a level of trust in?
I think, but perhaps is it that there is the potential, even though they're probably going to do very well this year, there is the potential that perhaps they could do even better if people have more confidence.
I think that that's absolutely true, and you've got to ask yourself the question: if today, 1 in 10 potential shoppers bailed out of completing a transaction because for some reason they felt concerned with entering their credit card data or any other data into that site in order to complete the transaction, having already put the goods into the online shopping cart, etc. If 1 in 10 people bail out, well, you've got to put the hat on of the head of sales or the head of marketing for that organisation and think to yourself, if I could increase and affect my bottom line by 10%, that's a pretty good return. Show me another marketing campaign or another sales campaign which could add 10% to the bottom line. And so if you think about it in those terms, I think that there is an enormous potential value add to a business to be able to crack this. And I think, by the way, just to link this back to a previous point that we were discussing, transparency is a very important thing. And the more that individuals in the future can make purchasing decisions whereby they can see this company is making a strong effort to secure my data, and this one over here I'm not quite sure if they are or not, well, I think that becomes a factor in the future. Perhaps not the factor, price and experience and the use of the website and the ease of use of the website, etc. All of those are still the biggest drivers, but that level of confidence in the online transaction has a level of influence, and I think that influence will grow.
Just on that point then, I mean, what can businesses of all sizes do to actually perhaps better demonstrate that they are a trusted presence, they can be trusted online, and to try and bring some of that confidence back?
So one of the things that our survey has looked at is how do consumers come to a conclusion of the trustworthiness of a website. And it is clear that a significant percentage look for something, and what that something is, I think, is a little bit undetermined today. Some would say that they're aware of the fact that they should look for a closed padlock symbol in the bottom of their browser. They don't really understand what that means, but they think it should be there. Some would look for another independent brand, perhaps. There are various tick marks and other branding marks that can be put on a website. That again, the consumers don't really know what it means, but if they see it there, they get a level of trust. So I think the conclusion we can draw on that is that consumers are somewhat aware that they should look for something, and there is a gap in the market for a universally recognized brand, if you will, that people can look for and to be able to recognize. And I think it's an interesting point whether that brand should come from an industry watchdog or should come from some form of independent third-party NGO, etc.
On that subject of privacy policies and transparency, there's obviously again been quite a lot of news around at the minute about social communities and networking sites and their approach to this. I mean, can you give some more information on your view on all of that side of things and what's happening there?
So yeah, I think that's a very timely question because, of course, it's not just the HMRC issue which has happened here in the UK. There continues to be a lot of debate in the industry about how data is collected and to what uses it is put. And one of the real focal points about a lot of that discussion today is the social networking sites that exist, like Facebook, and of course there are many others as well. And very recently, our own researchers at CA have been looking at and doing a quite detailed technical analysis of the way that information is being collected using Facebook's Beacon service to collect the behaviour, or collect data that is reflective of the behaviour of Facebook users on affiliate sites, and then how that information is shared back to Facebook, shared across some of these affiliate sites, etc. And if anyone's interested in the details of that, the best thing I could do is to point you to having a look at the blogs of some of the researchers, which you'll find published on the CA website, CA homepage. But the point is that what we're seeing is there's a lot of behaviour that's going on by these organisations to collect data, and there is also a huge pushback which is existing amongst the users of these sites, so it's a consumer pushback, once those consumers realise what is actually going on. So I think the main point is it brings it back to the transparency of the privacy policy, and we're just in this particular case with Facebook, they are rewriting their privacy policy and restating their privacy policy as a result of the research that's being done, and as a result of that user pushback, that user movement, if you will, that is really pushing them to make some changes in their business practice. So I think, again, as a bigger picture, if we bring that back to the other theme of consumer confidence, etc., and the breach disclosure laws and the privacy policy, etc., I think consumer power really has a phenomenal role to play if we look at this from a positive point of view. The negative point of view is to say, well, these consumers will go somewhere else if they don't have confidence in you. The positive side is that if you can harvest that, then it becomes a real catalyst for change.